TradeTheMBI.com. This is John's report. It's for the 27th. Well, Friday's action still to the upside. Nothing really taking place with the Iran thing. Of course, the big news over the weekend, obviously, the attempted assassination. Another one on Trump, him canceling, sending envoys to Pakistan for the, deal with Iran. So Iran basically throwing out a new proposal to the Pakistanis, which is a non-starter anyway, and yeah, we're just in limbo with that. And he believes that they're in economic crisis about to collapse. I've heard this story before. I mean, I think they tried the same thing with Russian sanctions. What 5, 6 years ago, and that's worked out well. Same Iranian sanctions. This is a little more difficult with the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. There's no question about that. It certainly creates a dynamic there. But from a market view, the worst is not priced in at all. It's just ignored because at the end of the day, with elevated oil prices, we all know where inflation's going to head later part of the year. So it's not getting resolved anytime soon. That's sort of past its window. Remember how this was going to be just a few weeks and not so much. So yeah, from a reading standpoint, we still have magenta riding on at least, well, this 5K tick is what I started with here. Even if we go to the 50K, you're still between 76 and 100%. Full reset of DOC steel. So plenty of buyers available. We haven't even begun the new month where new buyer money will come in around the 4th. So yeah, the potential to even continue to go higher is there. We're seeing a little bit on the 50K rising short interest. And, as things move across and there's not a lot of volatility to it, that's when I think you'll start to see a little bit more short activity because they'll get a little bit more antsy about needing range. And of course, given what we're seeing geopolitically, anything can happen at any given moment, which would be an unknown throwing a wrench into it. So there are going to be people always betting on that potential. Um, but you also can't get left behind. You see, so this is the issue with the status for most traders at this point, and they missed that bicycle from way back here down at the 65 range. So those that continue to get in later and later, it just gets worse and worse for them numerically from a return standpoint. But you can see still from a daily well above the 33. Now it can change in a heartbeat. The near zero reading for the, well, actually, it's a sub one, so it's almost to the zero for MBI white here from a daily standpoint. That's an extended crazy low, and you don't see that often. The question then will become, what's going to start to happen with the Fed? How much change is going to take place momentarily? These are real issues that are, going to start to have an impact on things. From an NQ view, not too different. But you can see we're starting to just get the little sideways action here where you get a lot of noise with the DOC from that standpoint. But as long as spreads are rising, shakeouts continue to rise. We're in that rising gold from, well, way back over here. So it's all continuation from that standpoint. So everyone's just going to be basically glued to the news, anything special that develops over there, some ship sunk or something like that. But oil is ridiculously still high. You're in the 96 range here. So, yeah, that's a new baseline. And unfortunately, the ripple effect is only going to start to begin. But you've got areas like they're talking about it here in Europe. Ending of certain flights and stuff. So if that rationing starts to go, then you start to see the EU really suffering from the effects of it. And while they got a big bonus going in right now, everyone's so excited about being in the EU. It's like because they're on their war footing. And you just had the interaction over the weekend too of NATO jets shooting down Russian drones right down Romania, not really mentioned much because of the whole conflict with the assassination attempt, but that could be an interesting one, an escalation, and the NATO countries are really pushing hard to get involved in that action. So that deficit potential spending, very exciting for people who want to be in Eurozone action from a gold. We still haven't seen the breakout yet. It's coming, don't worry. just hasn't developed yet. And of course, we can see the bribe is still being paid for those that want to transit Hormuz there, so they're still bidding up Bitcoin, though it's still well behind the market move. Interestingly enough, some of this could be just attributed to the general bullishness of the market in general, but there's not so much excitement. And again, this is something we've talked about forever on Bitcoin and even other cryptos. Is until you get a ability to mainstream it, it's hard. It's a tough sell. But yeah, that's the long and the short of it for now. Overall, we're just going to be following the readings from that standpoint, and everyone will be getting ready for indicators for next month. So that's going to be exciting, and updates from what I've been working on with the more recent adjusted program, indicating the breakdown setup and some of the little more defined rules, particularly on the return setup. It's a little bit more, uh, I'd say, active than the older viewpoint. And that's just simply because the older one, a little more cautious about returning entries from a decline. And we pretty much understand where that begins to flip pretty quickly with the orange setup and the moving back to green and having to have DOC red overtake. So that all becomes pretty straightforward. Anyway, anything relevant, I'll put on the team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.